Welcome to Crypt Theory, where we go into the unknown, the supernatural, and the dark realities of the real world. Let's get into it. All right, so today we are going to Jersey and talking about the Jersey Devil over here. This is one of the more fascinating stories we are going over. We've gone over so far, at least. We are now slowly to chart over the well-known around the world, around the U.S., the super popular cryptids. We're now starting. This is still a very popular cryptid, don't get me wrong, but we are now starting to travel in the direction of more unknowingly, at least. We are going down deeper. But it is going to be interesting on how this shapes out. So let's just go ahead, get into it. Let's talk about the devil that's in New Jersey. Let's go. Jersey Devil, one of America's most enduring cryptids. A creature said to haunt the pine barrens of southern New Jersey. So this, like Mothman, has one place in particular that it's just centered at. Not like Chupacabra, Bigfoot, that is somewhere else, more like Mothman and the Yeti, where they have one centralized place compared to several others. With sightings spanning 250 years, the legend has evolved into a rich tapestry, folklore, and eyewitness accounts. But where did this all begin? That is the big question, and that is what we will be answering. The tale of the Jersey Devil dates back early 18th century, so that would be 1700s, for people that wouldn't know that. According to the legend, 1735, a woman named Deborah Leeds, also known as Mother Leeds, gave birth to her 13th child. Exhausted and frustrated, she cursed the child, declaring, "Let this one be a devil." She had 12 children before this. Her 13th. I believe this is one of the main reasons unlucky 13. 13 is such an unlucky number. Came from, U.S. centered wise. So she was mad that she gave birth to a 13th child, and she was exhausted, and she said, "This one shall be demonized." Says, "No blessings for you. You are now demon." And on a stormy night, the baby was born, but instead of a normal infant, a horrifying creature emerged. It had the body of a kangaroo and the head of a horse, bat-like wings, and a long forked tail. The creature let a blood-curdling scream and flew up the chimney, disappearing into the pine barrens. So, that's always interesting to see how different how this woman, the lore is pretty much, this woman said, "Let this be it. I'm tired, I'm done. Let this child be a demon." And it comes out as a kangaroo horse bat demon. So kangaroo horse bat demon is what the Jersey Devil is. Is there any truth to this tale, though? We shall get into that. Let's go into the historical context of Deborah Leeds was indeed real. It's not just in 1736, her husband Japhet Leeds mentioned her in his will. listing 12 children. The Leeds family was prominent in the area, which lends some historical credibility to the legend. However, there are no records of the 13th child or any demonic birth, which means that this is possibly just something she made up to get attention, or something the community made up to have some source of credibility. The story of the Jersey Devil didn't gain as widespread attention as it does nowadays until the early 19th century. By then, the legend has taken on a life of its own, various reports, sightings, as a lot of these cryptids do. Once a story is told once, it gets spread around like wildfire. Normally stories like this, crazy demonic possession and stuff, because we were in the 1700s. So at this point, I don't think the U.S. was, at the point from when this happened. This was 1736. So when this happened, the U.S. 13 colonies were still not separated from Britain yet. So it was mainly it is heavily Christian leads into this point. That's why the demon possession thing was such a big deal, because at this point in time when this happened, it was heavily Christianized. So on with that. Encounters 1820s. Commodore Stephen Decatur, a naval hero, who said he have fired a cannonball at a creature while testing his cannonballs in Hanover Mills, works in the Pine Barrens. He reportedly saw the creature and hit it. It was unharmed, flew away. So pretty much this guy lit a cannon, fired it at this thing, hit it, and it didn't affect it. It doesn't say from how far, but I'm guessing this thing would have to be able to take a well hit while flying. It's not a normal animal. If this report is true, they say they hit it. They could have missed it by not much or a lot. You never know. This was 1820, so reports could vary over time. Throughout the 19th and early 20th century, sightings continued. The Jersey Devil was blamed for livestock killings, mysterious footprints, terrifying encounters. One of the most famous flaps of sightings occurred in January 1909. To extend on that a little bit here, livestock killings compares to the chupacabra, but that is way after of the first sighting of this. The first sighting of chupacabra is way after. Mysterious footprints leads into Bigfoot and the Yeti. Terrifying encounters. That's with really anything. When you look into cryptids like this, you'll see a lot of overlap and lore of sucking the blood out of livestock in that area, footprints, people saying they encountered it or something that looks like it. That's a big thing there for sure. For 1 week in January 1909, Jersey Devil caused widespread panic across the New Jersey and Philadelphia area. Hundreds of people reporting seeing the Jersey Devil. Strange tracks were found in the snow. Eyewitnesses described a winged beast with piercing scream. Schools, factories were closed out of fear. The Philadelphia Zoo offered a $10,000 reward for its capture, and that is still active today because they never shut it down. Which is interesting. From in a week, it was January up north. So it was snowing. It could have been a month. Different things. Eyewitnesses, winged beast. It. I don't know what it can be compared to. This is possible. More likely than not, it's not. But people also could have read something, started seeing things, and just people started hopping on some big bird or bat. And then the strange tracks found in snow. It could be any animal just making it, dragging its feet a little bit. It could be a multitude of different things in reality, or also could be a Jersey Devil. It's debatable. And piercing screams. That's an interesting concept because the odds the public knew as much as they did about how the piercing scream happened. But that could be just a piercing scream from a hawk or something like that. The $10,000 reward from the New Jersey Zoo or Philadelphia Zoo, sorry, is what a lot of things did. The same thing happened with Bigfoot, and the same thing happened with Mothman early on in its life, and later on when Big Panic happened. 1909 Panic was the turning point, mainly for the Jersey Devil. It made it a huge thing. It cemented Jersey Devil in public imagination, led to an explosion of interest and speculation, as a lot of these bigger cryptids do. But what might people actually have seen? Many theories on it. Large birds, as I said, sandhill crane. That is the exact same thing that people say Mothman was supposed to be. If it was a real animal, it could have been the same thing as Mothman, which has a wingspan 7-8 feet and loud eerie call, as a loud eerie bird call. As I said earlier, it might be responsible. Others believes that mass hysteria and the power of suggestion played significant roles, especially during the sightings in 1909. It might be a little bit of both. It might have been the bird and a little bit of mass hysteria happening at the same time. Despite the rational explanations, the legends persist. Modern sightings can be continued to be reported. Jersey Devil remains a beloved figure in local folklore. 1938, it was declared in the official state demon, the New Jersey Devil Hunters. There is a New Jersey Devil Hunters organization. It is not government funded, do not worry. But I'm not surprised. Group dedicated investigating sightings and preserving. Okay, it's not just hunting; it's also preserving the legend and make sure it doesn't get out of hand and crazy. Recent years, Jersey Devil made appearances in pop culture, from movies to TVs to sports team. The New Jersey Devils. NHL or hockey, for those that might not know what that. They take their name from this infamous creature, further embedding it in cultural fabric of the state, which honestly I don't mind at all, with sports teams using a town myth or a state legend as a team name. I actually think that's amazing of how they do that. let's not forget the personal side of the legend. Many locals have their own stories, strange encounters in the Pine Barrens, passing down these tales through generations and generations. That's how a bunch of the tales get mixed up and how this actually happened. A bunch of different people telling a slightly different story every time is eventually going to make this legend into a complete different monster than it actually or supposedly was. The Pine Barrens themselves, mysterious, densely wooded, dense forest, remote, eerie landscapes. This is actually a perfect place for a legend like that to be. Remote location, eerie landscapes around, very dense forest. That's really big. So we've talked a lot about the lore, how this can be convoluted and everything like that. Jersey Devil is more than just a monster story. It's a piece of American folklore. It's a big piece at that. Symbol of the unknown lurking in our backyards. While skeptics may discuss this legend as a myth or misidentification, the Jersey Devil continues to captivate our minds and remind us mysteries do still exist in this world. That's going to be with most cryptids. Majority and all, I would have to argue. Yeah, thanks for joining me on this one. I hope you enjoyed. Next time we're going into the Goat Man, which I think is going to be a very fun one to go into. Before I forget, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell. Daily uploads all throughout summer. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you next time.